wanted to take a break. Like while I had a moment, I was like, damn, I'm recording right now. Let me stop and hit you up, see what's up with this interview.
You've got mail.
Alright, so welcome to the channel, Mind Over Matter. For those who do not know, this is going to be my little interview segment today, and today's guest is Nyyjerya. She is an artist based in South Florida, raised in Miami, and she's often gone through seeking music, art, poetry as a healthy outlet to living in low-income neighborhoods. After being diagnosed with bipolar disorder and personality disorder in 2016, they decided that their safe place was dedicating and promoting the awareness and importance of mental health, especially in Black and brown communities. After a couple run-ins with the law and being incarcerated for a few months, Nyyjerya is finally free and is ready to move on to the next level. So thank you so much for being on with us today.
That was a really beautiful introduction, bro. That was really beautiful.
Thank you. Alright, so let me get straight to these questions real quick. So first off, now that I get my intro, is there anything that I left out or that you want to mention before we get into the questions?
No, you spot on, man.
Alright. So let me get into the questions. Alright, so first questions first. How did you come up with your stage name?
Nyyjerya is my middle name, and I wanted to choose something that represented who I am, like internally, not just like the exo shell, like not just who you see on the outside, but just who I am within. And I felt like that being my middle name, it spoke to it so deeply and so profoundly, like, yo, that's you, like inside, like that's your middle name, like you're Nyyjerya, like this is who you are. And it's like it's really become a part of my personality too. Like people will be like, am I talking to Imani right now or am I talking to Nyyjerya? I'm like, I don't know.
So what got you into music? Like, how did you decide that music was going to be, the outlet for you?
Cause I don't know, man. Like, I grew up around, music. Luckily, I have Dizzle Curry as like a mentor and a best friend. Somebody who directs and guides me musically. But before I started making music, I was always around that crowd, that energy of just like creativity and feeling like, that was like the place for me to be, and like that's where my voice would be respected and heard, and I would be pushed and encouraged to make music too. Like it wasn't just like, my homies just seeing me in the background like, oh no, she just gonna sit in the background. Like, no, bro, you gonna get on this mic and you gonna do something. Like you gonna be in the studio, you gonna do something. Like you just can't come to the studio and just be chilling, money. Like do something. So I'm just like, shit, I'm gonna just do something. So it started from that, just being around that vibe and just being in that environment. Yeah.
Wow. So, and how did you end up getting Denzel Curry as a mentor? Because trust me, I've had a couple mentors, and I don't think any of them are on that kind of level, on that kind of time. So.
I mean, it's just growing up with him, having that bond. You feel me? I've known him like several years now, like since I was in high school. Like even before that, like we went to the same middle school, but we never like connected like that till high school. So you feel me? Like it was just always me being in the same atmosphere, or just me being receptive to like always hearing the advice he was giving. Because even before he blew up, he would always tell me like, whatever you set your mind to, you could do. Like just set your intent and like keep pushing towards it. You feel me? Like no matter what it is, So he was always mentoring me in some ways, because that's just the person he is. You feel me? But it's like when I started making music, that's when he was like, yes, I should mentor this one.
Nice. And so tell me about Baby.
Okay, Baby, that's my baby. That's my first project, and it's like there's there's so much to it. There's like this big story behind it of like, okay, when I first started making baby, my whole idea for it was completely different. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this project, and it's my first project, so I got a lot to prove. And I'm just like, yeah, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And then I showed it to my cousin, like my family, and he was like, bro, the way you be it's really like an intimate type of thing. Like you talking to your baby right now. Like it ain't about everything else. It ain't about proving the point, doing all that. But you ain't gotta do all that. Just talk to her, man. So I'm just like, you know what, man? You right. I'm gonna call it baby, and then I'm gonna talk to my baby, man. And then it's my baby because it's my first project. So yeah, it all just came together so great.
What's your favorite track off the project? If you had to narrow it down to one.
Shoot. Damn. I thought I had it. And then I'm like, fuck. Because I love sugar. I love sugar. But can I be real? It's like, I
Can
felt
I be real?
like,
Yes.
come on. Like, can I be real, bro? Like, oh my God, bro. I feel that track, bro. I feel it. So I think it's Can I Be Real. It's Can I Be Real.
I like that a lot. I like when artists are able to be vulnerable and intimate with their audience because a lot of artists don't really get to do that. They usually get stuck into rapping the same 3, 4 topics and then, it's a different beat. But like when you really break it down and let the walls come down between you and the people who you're making the music for, that's deep. That's deep. And not even any artist that's like big out there, not every artist that's big right now can do that. So I definitely vibed a lot with Can I Be Real. What inspired? Well, actually, no. We already answered that. So my new question is gonna be, what have you been doing with your quarantine time?
Well, I knew you was gonna get to that. I'm working on this new project. It's called Nyykonic. So I'm introducing Nyykon, who's a part of Nyyjerya, who's part of my persona, but she's just like she's different from Nyyjerya. Nigeria's like peace, love, and like all for the people. But Nyykon, she's just like, you know what? I've been in this fucking house all day. All these people aggravating me. Like I'm pissed off, nigga. Like fuck all the bullshit. So that's what Nyykon bringing to the table. So Nyykonic is gonna sound iconic. Like it has those like very like ranges of like different personalities and character and like bro, it's something I'm excited to present to everybody. Like I'm very excited about this, and I'm working with this producer Clark the Healer. Man, y'all gonna hear that boy, man. Y'all gonna hear him. He's amazing.
I'm excited for that. I
Give
saw that you were
thanks.
actually posted on your story that you were like, getting into work with like features and stuff like that. So like, it's good.
Yeah,
Building up
yeah.
that live area and everything. Um,
Everything happening.
One thing that really made me personally gravitate towards you and your entire just persona is that you focus a lot on like mental health as it comes to black and brown people, which I think is like huge, especially like right now in the time where like I feel like we need that shit the most. So like, what made you, or what are your thoughts on like the state of the black and brown community's mental health and how we're handling it and things like that?
Well, honestly, I see a lot of progress. I'm not gonna neglect, saying that we've made progress because we have, and I'm proud of that. The fact that we're even able to have this conversation is proof of that progress. The fact that we're highlighting this and we're talking about it is progress. But there's the things that still hold us back as a people, like as black people, brown people, people of color, a minority. There's things that hold us back within ourselves, like just the way that we were raised and ingrained to look at things. I feel like our minds are programmed to see mental illness as a weakness, or just as something that's flawed, or something that makes somebody incomplete. But that's not always the case, because with the right treatment, with the right support, with just being in an environment where you're not judged and you're just accepted as a person, like you see dramatic like changes as opposed to being somewhere where like you're told like, being crazy is like a white person thing. Like niggas don't kill themselves, niggas don't be suicidal. Like as opposed to saying, you're not crazy, we all feel this way, it's okay, I still love you. Like stuff like that I feel like makes a difference. And I feel like the reason why this conversation is important is because a lot of us don't know how to support each other because we don't know how to support ourselves when it comes to that reality of mental illness. When I first was diagnosed, I felt like, I was literally insane. Like, I felt like I couldn't trust my thoughts. Like, I couldn't trust who I was as a person. Like, I felt like I was living like in a false self. Like I just didn't know myself. I completely disassociated from myself. Just like completely didn't want to even accept that there was a possibility that my mind could just have a sickness. And the way that I would like give it to other people or project like to other people would be like, yeah man, I'm crazy, blah blah blah. Then you know I'm lucky enough to have the type of people in my life who like set me straight and was like, Imani, Nyykon, Nyyjerya, whoever you want to be right now is okay because you're human. You have these emotions, you have this chemical imbalance that you can't help. You can't do anything about it, but you're still a beautiful person. There's nothing that you need to change about yourself, and that's healing in itself. You feel me? And I feel like that's what people need to get towards. Like as a unit, as a community, we need to push towards just being more accepting and just being more understanding, listening to each other. Just hearing each other, because it's hard to like really want to like be vulnerable and open up and say, this is what I'm dealing with in my life to people if you feel like you aren't being heard. So sometimes it's just okay. Everybody just let their walls down, let those guards down, and just talk about it. That's what the Black community is missing. Just that vulnerability. We don't know how to be vulnerable with each other, honestly. But we're learning, we're progressing, and I'm proud of that. Like that's beautiful.
Hell yes. Okay. Wow, you literally just covered like the next 2 questions. Do you think that quarantine has had a effect on mental health, whether it's good or bad, for
oh yeah,
even just for Black people, but like people in general?
Yeah, just in general, I feel like it's opened people's eyes up to like really what's going on in their lives. Like you're really seeing the reality of how you live and how you react, how you process your thoughts, because you have no choice but to like be with yourself, even if it's just like for like a day or two. You keep doing this for like a whole year as we've done it, it's gonna affect you. Like it's gonna hit you eventually, like where you're like, hey, is that my thoughts I'm hearing? Like you're gonna become more. I feel like people are becoming more aware of themselves. That's what's going on right now.
That's why I with Ye. See, that's my third person. That's my bipolar. That's my superpower. Ain't no disability. I'm a superhero. Yeah!
That's interesting because I feel like it directly correlates to like my music. The fact that I even have like these different personas and these different realities that I experience, and like these different spectrums of like genres that I'm jumping into. Like it's like I'll be in a certain mood and I'm just like, I gotta record this, I gotta document this, because for me that's what I'm doing. Like I'm just documenting like the way I feel in that moment. And it's like people don't realize it, but you're listening to somebody who's like manic depressive right now. It sounds good, but like those emotions that you are like resonating with are coming from somebody who's like depressed or bipolar. And like it's cool because I'm not putting it out there in a way of where it's like, this how you gotta feel. Feel me, like I'm crazy, like I'm bipolar, you gonna feel it. Like no, it's just in a way of like, hey bro. And like it's like a cherry on the top. Like on the top of like being very creative, she's managed to like make it work with what she does. Like that's how I feel. Like speaking in third person, I'm sorry, but it's like that's how I feel about it. Like it gives me that extra like perspective from when like it comes to making music, because I'm not seeing things like how everybody else sees it, and I accept that reality, you know, and I choose to use music to like voice it and like share that reality.
Okay. Last time we talked, we had talked about how when it comes to like your weekly mood or vibe, to describe it, you use like one of those Brother Umar, the memes.
Yeah, you can use a Dr. Umar meme for like literally any moment you feel, bro. Like any moment you feel, like the Breakfast Club memes, bro. I was feeling that yesterday, bro. I be feeling that, bro. I felt that yesterday in the office, cause some patient came up to me just on some like crazy shit, and I'm just like, brother, I do not have time for this. Don't come to me with this. I am liberated. You feel me? Like,
the line on the way to work. What was it, Monday? I was on the highway and like nobody wanted to let me pass, but then this black person saw me struggling and he like, you know, flashed me to let me go. I was like, all right, brother. Thank you, brother. Positivity, brother.
You feel so joyous when you call a black guy brother, like, or a woman, like a black woman sister. Like, I don't know, it's a different vibe. Like, it really feels good. I remember growing up being a kid and like always hearing it and being like, are they related? Is that his sister? Is that his brother? I didn't know my daddy had so many brothers and sisters. Like, you know. But as you get older, it's like, dang, these are my brothers and sisters, because you really don't know. Like, that's why it's called the African diaspora, because we were all just displaced. You feel me? Like, you don't know who your brother or sister is, so, you know.
Hey, nice all the jewels.
You hear me, bro?
If you could give your grandchildren or anybody that you know in your family that looks up to you any advice, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would tell them to stay in the present moment and don't worry about the past or the future, and you know, just worry about what is going on right now and just stay happy and, you know, stay content.
Okay. All right. And then my last question is, I know that you know you just started working on the meat of the project and everything like that, but is there anything that you can reveal, like, I don't know, features, tracks, anything like that? Just, you know, just a little teaser.
Okay, so there's,
you know how they do like that? Just sprinkle it.
There's this one particular track that I'm really excited about. It's like a singing track, and oh man, like it gives me that nostalgic feeling, because I didn't sample nobody, but I you know, I had, you know, used some similar lyrics or whatever you call it. I can't remember the correct name for it. There's a word for it, but I can't remember it right now. But yeah, so that track is gonna be very special because I produced it. Like I didn't, you know, like I'm putting myself out there as a producer. I'm stepping out in a different lane. You know, like I'm getting shy talking about it just because it's like this is something different.
Is ready, okay? Nyykon,
okay.
Nyyjerya.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, let's get it.
So thank you so much for hanging with me and being on my channel for this interview so much.
Nah, it's my pleasure, bro.
No doubt. For those of you who have heard of her before, I'm going to link their contacts and their socials right here on the screen. I want you to plug in, tap in, let them know that Matter sent you, and show support when the project finally drops. Thank you so much.
Hey. Alright, bro.
This has been an interview with Nyykon, Nyyjerya. You already know the vibes.
Peace, love.
Peace.
Rolling in the coupe, you know how we do. Every afternoon, yeah, we If you see gang, you better keep it cool. Never sweat the crew, we ain't sweating you, or you ain't new. Well, I think it's time that we introduce. We coming through, baby, coming through. I just got through on the internet.